Hey everybody, welcome to more Political Excess. Today, let's take a look at another hypothetical 2024 presidential matchup. This time, let's do Bernie Sanders versus Marco Rubio. Of course, there would be a lot of unknowns. Tough to predict some of these states, but this is just for fun. So let's get into this right now. Safe states over a 10-point margin, likely 5 to 10 points, lean under 5, and tilt under 1 point. So let's start in Alaska. That would be safe for Marco Rubio. Low double digits, possibly even under 10, but I'm going to leave it at safe. Hawaii, safe for Sanders. Back up to the West Coast. Washington, Oregon, California, safe for Sanders. No explanation needed there. Nevada, I have that at lean for Sanders. I think he does have more of an appeal for the working class, and he'd be able to carry Nevada by a lean margin. Idaho and Utah, safe for Rubio. Arizona, I had that at a lean for Rubio. I think Rubio does better as more of the establishment, more mainstream, suburban type of appeal. I think he'd be able to hold that by a couple of points. Montana and Wyoming, safe for Rubio. No explanation needed there. Colorado, likely for Sanders. That's my best guess there. New Mexico, that is a tricky one. I have that at likely for Sanders. Probably just barely 5 to 6 points. New Mexico, another working class state. Seems like Sanders would probably have more of an appeal there than Rubio. All right, back up to North Dakota, South Dakota, safe for Rubio. Nebraska, at large, safe for Rubio. The 2nd district, I have at a tilt for Sanders. Not sure which way that would go. Sanders may be considered too extreme for certain suburban areas. I still think his message would resonate enough for him to just carry that 2nd district. Kansas and Oklahoma, safe for Rubio. Texas, likely for Marco Rubio. I think Bernie Sanders does have strong appeal in several major cities in Texas, but Marco Rubio is probably a better fit overall for the suburbs and to a lesser extent the rural areas. And he's not going to fire up the rural areas, but he would do enough to be able to offset any gains Sanders would have in the deep blue areas. Back up to Minnesota. For some reason, Minnesota is always a tough state to rate, even though it does go blue nearly every time. I have it at lean for Sanders, definitely closer to likely than to tilt. I think if this were back in 2016, Sanders would be much more likely to have it over 5 points, but for now, I'm going to just put it at lean. Iowa, I have likely for Rubio. I think Sanders would do better than some of the other Democrats. But again, 2024 is not 2016, and Marco Rubio should still probably hold that by at least a likely margin. Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, safe for Rubio. Back up to Wisconsin. That's a tough state. I have it at a tilt for Rubio. I think Sanders would do well where he's supposed to do well. Rubio would do a little bit better than Trump in some of the suburban areas. It'd be very close, Rubio with a slight edge. Illinois, safe for Sanders. Michigan, I have that as a tilt for Sanders. Another very close one. These Rust Belt states, the ones that did go for Trump in 2016 narrowly, those are completely up in the air. I think Sanders does have a better appeal in Michigan than Wisconsin. Then again, 2024 is not 2016, still giving Sanders a very slight edge. Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama, safe for Rubio. Florida, Rubio's home state, he gets a likely there. He'd probably carry that by at least 5 points. He's not going to completely run away with it, but he should carry his home state. Georgia, that's a tough call. I have it as a tilt for Rubio. The state has trended toward the Democrats, but Sanders may be considered a little bit too extreme for some of the suburban Atlanta area. It could go either way. I'm giving it to Rubio. South Carolina, safe for Rubio. North Carolina, lean for Rubio. Ohio, let's go up there. I have that as a likely for Rubio. Sanders would do better in some of the blue-collar areas that have trended toward the Republicans, but I think Rubio would do a little bit better in some of those suburban areas. Not a safe margin, but more than 5 points. West Virginia may have had some appeal towards Sanders, but I think the cultural and social stuff has gone way too far away from the Democrats, and Rubio would carry that safely. Let's go up to Maine. Maine at large, I have going towards Sanders at a likely margin. The first district, that would be safe for Sanders. The second district, I have at a lean for Sanders. I could be wrong. That's the kind of district in the Northeast that would go towards Sanders, at least a couple points. New Hampshire, I had that at a lean for Marco Rubio. All I can say about that is I think Rubio would have more of a mainstream appeal. Sanders would probably be considered a little bit too fringe. And no, Rubio is establishment, but I think he'd be able to do a little bit better than Trump did and hold that by 1 to 2 points. Vermont, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New Jersey, all safe for Bernie Sanders. Pennsylvania, I have that at a tilt for Sanders. That is similar to Michigan. It could go either way. I think Sanders has a little bit more appeal in some of the blue-collar counties that trended toward the Republicans. Yes, on cultural issues, Sanders would lose big time. I think he would focus on the economics and be able to hold the state by about a half a point. But again, I could be wrong. Delaware, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. safe for Sanders. Finally, Virginia. I put that at likely for Sanders. That would be closer to lean than to safe. Sanders is considered an outsider amongst his own party. He might do a little bit worse in some of the D.C. suburbs, but I don't think it would be overwhelming. So that would be my map. So Marco Rubio would win with 275 electoral votes to Sanders' 263 votes. As a very close election, a lot of close states, a lot of tilts. I'm sure I would be wrong on at least 3 or 4 of these states, but this is the best I came up with right now. I know there's a big divide between economics and cultural social issues. Both parties do much better in one or the other of those categories. It all depends which issues are on the forefront at the time and which of those issues the candidates emphasize the most. Sure, vice presidents are also a factor, but I just left it at these 2 main candidates for now. Let me know what you think of this map. Do you agree or do you completely disagree with all of it? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you're a fan of this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.